A very good morning to all my dear students. Today we are here with our new topic from the grammar section, which has just been common in the 9th and the 10th class. So as I just given the PDF, I hope that you have written down all the compulsory notes in your fair notebook, and this is the video which I just provide over that PDF. And let me clarify each and every point of that PDF which I just sent you earlier. Now here we have some you can say a new topic for us, that is the voice. And basically, what is voice? Voice is a kind of verb. Verb means kriya. Kriya means that is action. Yes, voice is always used to flow, right? Voice is always used to flow, which comes out of the throat in the form of vibration, right? Which I'm just speaking to you. Is it my voice? Yes, it is my. Is it my voice or not? Yes, it is my voice. But sometimes it has two kind. One is active, another one is passive. So what do you mean by the active voice? Yes, what I just said you in the beginning, that voice is a kind of verb that is active or passive, right? It means a kind of action that can be a passive and that can be a active. So let's begin here with the reference that yes, active voice means a kind of verb. A verb is said to be in active voice when the person thinks denoted by the subject acts, right? Whenever a verb we will call it a active voice. It is only when the person thing denoted by the subject acts. Okay, when the you can say in simple tenses you are using verbs along with the subjects, those all verbs are including in the active verbs or the active voices. And the passive voice means, what do you mean by that? A verb is said to be in passive voice when the person thing denoted by the subject do not act. Yes, the same thing which is just not done by the subject but suffer the action done by something or someone. Yes, but it was the action which was done by not subject but either by the object, either by the remaining part. And let me talk about all these things in the detail in the next our video. So write down all these two basic definition of the active and passive voice. Now we will come towards the basic rule to change the voices. Yes, these are not the complete and you can say these are the brief rules, and we will discuss the complete rules in our later video. So here we have the basic rule to change the voices. These are the rules which you have to keep in mind while you are changing the active voice to the passive voice. First thing is that you have to identify the subject, the verb and the object. Yes friends, whenever you are in kind of situation, then you have to change the voices. Then you have to clarify where is the subject, where is the verb and where is the object. That means subject plus verb plus object. In the tenses you have just written out that what do you mean by subject, what is verb and where the object lies. The second thing is that change the object into subject. The basic rule of a voice is that whatever be a subject in the active voice and whatever be the object in the active voice, it will change contrastically. It means in passive voice the subject of the active voice will turn into object and the object of the active voice will turn into subject. And put the suitable helping verb, auxiliary verb. Yes, whatever be the subject after you putting the active voice into the passive voice, then you have to think and you have to you can say put the suitable helping verb according to the subject, because subject almost change in the active to passive voice, and how it will change I will discuss later. And change the verb into the past participle. Remember students that you have to any kind of verb will change into past participle. It means if we have you can say if we have write, what will be the third form of this? Then write, wrote and then written, right? So this is the past participle. Okay, Now this is the main verb and it has been changed into the past participle. Now add the preposition by. Add the preposition by. Remember students, this is the main verb. You can say main word in the passive voice. It also help us to identify that it is active or the passive voice, because by will always find in the passive voice. So the last one is that change the subject into object. Yes, I have already discussed you before. This is the same thing, but here is given that subject into object and here is given that object into the subject, right? So here we have to conclude all these 6 points in our mind just to prepare ourselves for the voice change. Let me give the example that how can you say a whole sentence as an active voice and later on fully changed sentence as passive voice. Here Meera writes a letter. Yes, as you have just seen that Meera writes a letter. Meera is a subject, writes is also including with the s, because write has just written as not a single verb, it has been written with the s, so it indicates that it is a present indefinite tense. So see here, we all know that Meera is subject here. Meera is subject here. Writes is the verb, right? And a letter is the object. What is this? It is the object. And we have just written out that change the object into subject. So here the object is a letter. Then letter will become in the passive voice as subject. So a letter which has this object in the active voice will become the subject in the passive voice, and the subject of the active voice will become the object of this passive voice. So but I have just written this object and this subject regarding this subject and this object of active voice. Okay, and remember one thing which I said you, that change the verb into the past participle, right? Here the verb is write, which I just already told you. Write, wrote, written. That write has been changed into written. And one more thing is that you have to put the suitable helping verb, auxiliary verb regarding the changes. So here we have some rule that we will discuss about this rule, that how the is will come here. So and I have already one thing told you, that here is by. Without by there is no passive voice. Okay, now Meera writes a letter and a letter is written by Meera. The first one is active, second one is passive voice. So here is the brief, you can say, explanation of this very page. Now we will meet with the next page and with the brief explanations and all the basic rules we have just discussed here.